Hello everyone, welcome back to Pably. So in this video we are going to understand how to automatically import Webinar Kit registrants as leads into Salesforce. So are you also using Webinar Kit and Salesforce for your business? Then this video is definitely for you. So over here I'm doing the same. I'm running a edutech company and for hosting my webinars I'm using Webinar Kit. And now I want that as soon as a new registration is made for my upcoming webinar, automatically with the help of same details a new lead should be created in my Salesforce account too. So for this we are going to create a connection between Webinar Kit and Salesforce. To create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pably Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So I'm going to do all of this so that I can reduce the no-shows of my webinar. So if you also wish to learn this process step by step, then let me take you to my computer screen. Welcome to my screen. So as you know, in this video we are going to understand how to automatically import Webinar Kit registrants as leads into Salesforce. So as you know that I'm running a edutech company and we use Webinar Kit to conduct webinars and I use Salesforce to manage our sales pipeline. And now I want to set up a connection that automatically adds a new Webinar Kit registrant as lead in Salesforce. So this will ensure that with every new registrant is captured in our CRM system, allowing our sales team to follow up quickly and efficiently. Additionally, the timely follow-ups with the registrants can reduce no-shows and increase the webinar attendance, ultimately improving our lead generation and sales efforts. So to do all of this, I've opened the landing page of Pably simply by searching pably.com/connect in my browser. It is very easy. So as soon as you are going to open the landing page of Pably, we are going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on sign up for free and you are going to get 100 of tasks free every month. But I am an existing user, so I'm going to click on sign in right over here. And now it is opening all Pably apps. Over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pably. But in today's video, we are going to use Pably Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm going to click on access now right over here to access my Pably Connects account. And now it is opening my dashboard, and to start with the automation we are going to click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So I want to save the workflow in this folder which says automations, and I want to name my workflow as how to automatically import Webinar Kit registrants as lead into Salesforce. And then we are going to click on create, and now it is opening the most important window of our automation, that is our workflow window. This is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the trigger is the commander for the workflow and actions follow the commands. And as you know that we can have only a single commander but multiple followers. So over here we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger. So now I'm going to select my trigger application which is Webinar Kit because I want that as soon as a new registration is made in my Webinar Kit, automatically my workflow should be triggered. So I'm going to search for it and then we are going to select it. And now for the trigger event we are going to select it as new webinar registration. And now it is giving me a webhook URL. So we are going to use this same URL in order to create a connection between our Webinar Kit account and our Pably's workflow. So first we are going to copy this webhook URL and then we are going to read the help text, and it is saying log into your Webinar Kit account, navigate to webinar, click on edit webinar, click on other from top, navigate to webhooks, copy the webhook URL and paste the URL in the registration webhook URL, then click save. So I'm going to open my Webinar Kit account, and over here you can see that this is my account, and over here are all the webinars that I've created. So I'm going to use this which is Pably webinar for this automation. So I'm going to click on this drop down and then we are going to go on edit webinar. And now we have to go on other, so I'm going to go on this. Now we are going to scroll and then we are going to look for webhook, and as you can see webhook, so we are going to open this, and now it is asking me for the registration webhook URL. So we are going to paste the webhook URL right over here in the registration webhook URL. And after pasting this we are going to move on forward and then we are going to click on save right over here. And as soon as we are going to click on save, you can see webinar has been updated. So this means that we have successfully added the webhook URL right over here. So now we are going back to our workflow and it is saying waiting for the webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission /record. So in order to capture this webhook response we have to do a test submission, and in order to do this test submission we are going to open the form. So I'm going to open it, and as you can see that this is my form. So I'm going to use the same form to do the test submission. So I'm going to fill in the details right over here. So for the first name we are going to keep it as demo, last name as user, email as demo@pablytudes.com, and this is the phone number. And then we we are going to click on register. And yes, you can see that we have successfully registered for the webinar. And now this means that Pabbly Connect has captured the response of our submission. So I'm going to scroll and see. And yes, you can see that Pabbly Connect has captured the response of our submission. Over here you can see the first name that we entered, the last name, the email and the phone number with the country code. So yes, with this our trigger step is successful. And now we are moving on to our action step. So for our action application, we are going to select Salesforce right over here, because I want that as soon as a new webinar registration is made in my Webinar Kit account, automatically a lead should be created in my Salesforce too with these same details. So I'm going to search for it and then we are going to select it. And now for the action event, we are going to select it as create lead. And then we are going to click on connect. And as you can see that it is asking me to add a new connection or select the existing connection. So if you have already connected your Salesforce account with your Pabbly's workflow, you can click on select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection and then connect with Salesforce. And as you can see, then now it is asking me for some permission. So I'm going to scroll down and over here you can see allow. So we are going to click on allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because my data is secure with Pabbly. You can also click on allow, Pabbly is safe. And as soon as we are going to click on allow, you can see that we have successfully connected our Salesforce account with our Pabbly's workflow. And now it is asking me for the last name and the first name. So we are going to map this. So mapping is a method by Pabbly, which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Webinar Kit as our trigger application. So we are going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only. And as soon as we are going to map these details automatically, my details will turn dynamic and change with every new webinar registration made in my Webinar Kit account. So I'm going to give you an example. That over here in front of last name, if I'm going to enter user manually, suppose this, then this will not change with every new registration made in my Webinar Kit account, because this is a static information and I've entered it manually. But if I'm going to map it from the previous response, suppose I'm going to search for last name right over here, and if I'm going to map the last name like this, then this will definitely change, because my previous response will change automatically every time a new registration is made. So that's why we do mapping right over here to run our workflow in real time. So you're going to do same for the first name also. I'm going to search for it, and as you can see demo, so we are going to map it. And now it is asking me for the title. So as you can see that this is not the required field, so I'm going to leave it as blank. And now it is asking me for the company. So I'm going to enter all of these leads into a same company, which is Pabbly Tude. So I'm going to enter it right over here manually, because I don't want this to change with every new registration made. And now it is asking me for the phone. So I'm going to enter the phone number. We are going to map it. So I'm going to search for phone. And as you can see the phone number, so we are going to map it. We are going to do same for the email. Also, I'm going to search for it. And then we are going to map it right over here. And after mapping the email also, we are going to move on forward. It is asking me for many details. And as you can see, all of these details are not the required details. So we are going to leave it as blank. And then we are going to click on save and send test request. And yes, you can see success 1. So this means that we have successfully created a new lead in our Salesforce account. And over here you can see the lead ID. So I'm going to open my Salesforce and check that if we have created a new lead there or not. So I'm going to open my Salesforce, and after opening my Salesforce, from here we are going to go on leads. And as you can see in the recent items, demo user, so I'm going to open this, and yes, you can see name demo user. Over here you can see the company, the phone number and the email that we entered. So yes, with this our workflow is successful, and I'll just test this workflow once, and this time I'm going to give you a real-time example. So to do this, we are going to do a test submission, and to do the test submission we are going to open the form and we are going to do another submission. So I'm going to select the date and time. For the first name we are going to keep it as test, last name as user only. For the email we are going to keep it as testuser@pabblytudes.com and this as the phone number. And then we are going to click on register now, and yes, you can see that we have successfully registered this. So this means that Webinar Kit has sent the details of our submission to our workflow. Pabbly captured the response, triggered the workflow and further created a new lead in our Salesforce account. So I'm going to open my Salesforce and check that if a new lead has been created there or not. And this time we are not opening our workflow and clicking on save and send test request. I'll directly open my Salesforce account, and from here we are going to go on leads. And as you can see recent items test user, so I'm going to open this, and yes, you can see name test user. user. Over here you can see the company, the phone number and the email. So yes, with this our workflow is successful, and I'll just summarize the workflow for you once. For the trigger application, we selected webinar kit. For the trigger event, we selected new webinar registration. For the action application, we selected Salesforce, and then for the action event, we selected create lead, because I wanted that as soon as a new webinar registration is made in my webinar kit, automatically a lead should be created in my Salesforce too, so that my sales team can timely follow up with the registrants, which can help reduce the no-shows and increase the webinar attendance. And yes, we were successful with our workflow. Over here you can see the two leads I created during this video. One is demo user, and over here in the second, which is test user. So yes, if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. Thank you for watching. Not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly, you can integrate many more applications. So now if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.